Hallein. Yes, we're here in Austria. We're about 20 minutes actually from Salzburg. Yes, this is a quiet, kind of sleepy but not so sleepy town. It's absolutely rich in history. And we've been staying here at the Hallein Hotel. Right behind me, it's a gorgeous hotel. It's family owned, it's really beautiful. You definitely feel at home as soon as you walk in here. Like I said, it's snowing today. The snowfields are behind us. It's a glorious spot. It's not a big town. It's rather small. It has about 20,000 occupants. That's right. There's 20,000 people here. And it was actually once established as a salt mining town. Yes, we're going to go to the museum today. I'm going to show you all the rich history this town has to offer. So let's get started. We're here in Alpine. Yes, and we're here at the beautiful river. As you can see, there's quite a background traffic going on here, but we're going to go right into the city centre.
Wow. They say people come,
this is really special.
say people go. This particular diamond was extra special.
As you know, we're here in Alpine. We're here at the Hallein Museum in Hallein. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the middle of the week, so we might have this place all to ourselves. I can't wait to show you around. As most museum has beautiful artifacts, has a rich history, but we're here really to explore the history of salt mining. Yes, that is what made Alpine such a staple place in the region. It made it very rich in fact. Now there is a salt mine here that I mentioned. It's no longer in production obviously, but it's absolutely divine. You can go there for tours. But we're going to have a look around today. We're going to find out what was it about salt in particular and how did they harness all this salt? How did they manufacture it? How did they make it into a profitable business back in like before Jesus, folks? We're going way back in time here. It's quite exceptional. This is a beautiful museum. It's absolutely gorgeous. It was actually made in the 1970s, but it's been completely refurbished. And you can see there's gorgeous artifacts around. There's jewelry, there's all sorts of things. If you're into your books as well, kids and lots of people that just love a good book, check them out. It's just gorgeous. This museum is also situated in a beautiful location. It is right on the riverbanks. I mean, check it out. It has these beautiful windows where you can see through. And during the day, obviously it's snowing today, folks, but during the day when the sun comes through, this is just divine. It lights up, in fact. Well, we're here to show you all the salt mining, show you the history, what made this place so special, so significant, and really set it apart from all the other towns in the region. So let's go take a look.
I know you might be gone, and the world may not know.
Hallein Museum here, and this is a magnificent statue. I mean, check it out. So I know a little bit about this because I had a tour, in fact. But this is one of the Celtic people, and when the Romans came and invaded, they were very, I guess, for lack of a better word, patriotic. They were very true to their homeland, and they would rather die by the sword than go with the Romans. So in fact, this guy here has the sword. He's putting it in his chest. He's actually going to kill himself, and he would grab his wife and say, and I'm taking her with me. They were, I mean, it was brutal back in those days, guys, just brutal. And they would not go down without a fight. So this is quite beautiful and quite significant for the time and the era. And we're going to have a little look around at all these amazing artifacts. It's really a treasure trove. And as I mentioned, we kind of have this place to ourselves. It's the middle of the week and there aren't so many people around. I wanted to show you this installation in particular. It's quite unique. When you look at it, you're like, what is that exactly? Well, this is actually all the Celtic graves they found. Yes, these are the graves, folks. So they've actually dotted. They found so many graves. I mean, this entire area was really run by Celtics. They had all the salt mines, and back in the day, obviously the median age was about 30 years. Yes, people didn't live past 30 years. So for those that did, they had 2 or 3 wives or husbands, because literally their husband or wives would die. So median age was 30. It was pretty rough back then, and these are all the amazing graveyards they actually found in the region. It's quite amazing. And check out all these incredible salt. These are huge salt rocks. And back in the day, yeah, they didn't have the machinery we have today, folks. They had these types of, you know, things they had to dig away in the mines. It was what you call hard yakka, yeah. I wouldn't have wanted to do it, but thankfully they did, and today we can look back on it all. I mean, these artifacts are just really quite unique. And if we go through here, you might be able to get a little peek shot, if you're very careful, at some beautiful, beautiful salts which are on display here, which just look divine. You almost could eat them. They just look absolutely radiant, don't they? And then through here, you may not be able to get it on camera, but there's a little replica of what it was like to actually be in the salt mines those days. So right through there, you had to be pretty short, or you had to definitely arch your back to get through. So that, you know, this was really their livelihoods. This is where you have some more salt mines. This is what it looked like inside. It's just really incredible stuff. The jewels and the costumes and the armour they had back in the day is quite extraordinary. Check out these, if you can see these beautiful swords. I mean, when they dug up the graves, they found these beautifully embellished swords, these hard hats, and of course these gorgeous, gorgeous pots, which are just beautiful. I mean, the things they had back in those days are quite exquisite, considering, once again, they really had limited resources. But like I said, the salt brought a lot of money to the area, a lot of wealth, so they were able to do a lot of trade, they were able to create such beautiful jewels and artifacts. People wore in those days, or what they didn't wear. Yes, there weren't a lot of clothing going on, but they did have a lot of accessories. Check it out right here. So they actually dug up a lot of these graves, and the archaeologists that found them with these incredible jewels, and they had a lot of, this is actual iron jewelry, which is obviously oxidized, so it's a little bit oxidized, but it's very beautiful. And you can see there's some more here. So even though they were living in quite, you know, tumultuous times with very limited resources, they did find a way to really do some beautiful carvings and some exquisite jewelry as well. So when these archaeologists found these graves, they were obviously really surprised and overwhelmed to find such beautiful artifacts, even the likes of jade beads. I mean, there's all kinds of things in there, lots of treasures. Top floor here of the museum, it's quite beautiful, and like most things, they've kind of left the best till last. Check it out, this is just gorgeous. So we're going to take you through the history of not only salt mining, but also this area. So check it out, they had obviously a lot of emperors back then, a lot of archbishops as well. So this was back when the church and politics were really one. So church and politics, you know, if you were an archbishop, you also were a politician, and there was a lot of controversy obviously back then. Napoleon came through, as you can see, and things definitely changed then. But before Napoleon actually arrived, this was actually the last archbishop. Yes, right here. He was the last one, and when Napoleon came to take over, he fled. He fled people. He fled to Vienna, in fact. He wasn't sticking around. There was a lot of controversy because a lot of people wanted to stay and they wanted to fight for their land. Whether you like him or don't, he did flee, which is, when you're an archbishop, that's a big no-no. Now, this was one of the other archbishops. Once again, it was politics and religion were together. But I can tell you, as soon as this fellow went to Vienna, he was the last archbishop. After that, there were archbishops, but they were no longer politicians, so there was a separation between the state, between religion and politics. But he was one of the last ones, so it's quite unique. If you come through here, you can see the rich history and obviously Catholicism that really ruled this area. And we go through here, it's just divine to see all the different artifacts, what they used back in those days. Just divine. I mean, it was, you are literally stepping back in time here. And this is just phenomenal. I mean, the types of ornaments they had.
Still I see a celestial.
So we're definitely stepping back in time, folks. I'm going to show you something very unique. This was actually painted in the 1700s. It's absolutely extraordinary. I mean, check it out. So basically, this is the Archbishop, right? And he was so proud, and like they should be. It was really hard work, but it was quite magnificent what they did with these salt mines. And he wanted them to document what they were doing. So they actually painted onto the wall of their house. So these are originals that were painted on the wall back then of what it was like to work in these salt mines. As you can see, they had to wear these outfits. It was very dark back in those days, but you can see kind of what they had to go through. And this is the Archbishop that commissioned this entire project. There he is sitting, very regal. And in fact, when they did visit the salt mines, which they did, they would do actually on some kind of chariot, as you can see. So they would come across, people would take them through, they'd see that everything was working. But this is just truly magnificent. I mean, these paintings are just something else, and they're the originals. And to think that they were painted so long ago, and they're so beautifully done, is quite extraordinary.
But when I'm cold, I'm cold. Yeah, when I'm cold, there's a lot that you give me when I'm in shadow. There's a feeling within me, an everglow. Like brothers in blood, or sisters who ride. Yeah, we swore on that night we'd be friends till we died. But the
So guys, we're here in Hallein, and look at it, it's just beautiful. It's like almost a fake city. I mean, how can something be so pretty and unique, but it's really gorgeous. Like I said, it's the middle of the week, so it's a little quiet, but it's just gorgeous. Check out the gorgeous houses. This is kind of like the city kind of square, if you will. Just so gorgeous and colourful. And right in the foothills of the mountain. Literally, the mountain is right behind us.
changing of winds and the way waters flow. Life is short as the falling of snow. And I'm gonna